to Brisbane. Welcome to the Australia Zoo. I saw Robert Irwin today. Did you?
Oh my gosh. This was dark and water.
Give it a go, don't waste your time, 'cause you're running out. Give it a go and ask around. Only takes one try, yeah. Even if she tells you no, then at least you know. So give it a go, give it a go.
Today we're going to the Australia Zoo.
After we totally confused the train schedules in the last episode, it was time to commute to the Australia Zoo again. This time we were leaving smarter and wiser when it came to the Queensland train system.
We're headed to the Australia Zoo today. We have about a 2-hour journey to the zoo, so we're starting early. First up, we walk to the train station. First train ride of the day, we're headed to Roman Station.
Once we were at Roman Station, we bought some tickets for Nambour Express. And we boarded a train headed north towards the zoo.
Now we're on this train for an hour and 20 minutes.
The train ride was a little long, but we were so excited it actually went by really fast. And before you knew it, after some scenic views, we arrived at Beerwah Station. There's a free shuttle that takes you from the train station to the zoo. On the way there, we could see billboards of the Irwins everywhere. We were so excited to come to the Australia Zoo because of the Irwins. Of course, many people know of Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. But Rory and I are big fans of the show Crikey, It's the Irwins, which is all about preserving Steve Irwin's legacy through animal conservation.
We are here at the Australia Zoo. I can't believe we're here right now.
Of course, the first thing you see when you walk in are some big, huge alligators. But this zoo was so much more than that. Not only does the zoo have beautiful animals, it also highlights the amazing conservation efforts of the Irwin family. We loved seeing pictures of the Irwins all over the zoo. At this point, we had no idea that we'd actually be seeing Robert later in this episode. We love that by going to zoos in different areas and countries, you get to see animals that are native to that country. We had actually never seen some of these animals in the zoo before.
That is a wombat right there.
Next, we headed to Grace's birdhouse, named after Bindy's daughter, Grace. While we were in the bird garden, Sage swears that she knew the name of one of the birds because of the TV show.
That's Coco. See? Coco.
It knows its name?
I know. Coco.
Okay, you've got to see the next part of the zoo. This is so cool.
I can't believe we're about to see a kangaroo. And if there's joeys, I'm gonna scream.
We were a little timid at first, but it didn't take us long to warm up.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together?
I wish you could feel this right now. It's so soft.
'Cause I'm just loving
We need our own kangaroo.
here forever.
Oh, pouch.
It does have a pouch?
Forever. I watch you as you sleep.
Right after we saw the kangaroos, we spotted another native animal to Australia.
Oh, you can pet them? What?
There's a koala in this tree.
There's one up there?
Koalas sleep for about 18 to 20 hours.
What? It's adorable. I can't even. Look how cute that is.
The zoo actually had a station set up so that you could touch the koala and pat its bum.
Oh.
He is so fluffy.
What does it feel like?
It feels like a cotton blanket.
That's neat.
After we got to pet the koala, Mom took a few more photos and then we headed to the Southeast Asia section of the zoo.
Now it's time to head to Southeast Asia.
The first animal we saw in Southeast Asia was the Asian elephant. The red pandas was another animal we remembered from the show Crikey, It's the Irwins. They were a little hard to see up in the trees though. Next, it was time to see the Asian tigers. Apparently, we arrived just in time to see the tiger show.
And Jane goes and walk every hall. Malcolm and Ken.
Next, we headed to Bindi's Island. This was another part of the zoo we were really excited about seeing. This part of the zoo is themed like a shipwreck and has a full treehouse for kids to climb in.
This is so cool.
The treehouse was like 3 stories tall and there was all these awesome views. Next, we headed to Africa. In Africa, we got to see some giraffes, a zebra, and the rhinos. As well as a little rhino drama.
Oh, look at them. Look.
We also got to see these adorable meerkats. Following, we took a little break for lunch and then took a look at the map. The crocodile show would be starting soon, so we wanted to make sure we were headed in the right direction.
So at this point, we have covered all over here, and now we're gonna take the shuttle right here, all the way to the Crocodile Museum.
When we got to the shuttle stop, we realized it was going to be a bit of a wait, so we changed our plans.
The shuttle isn't coming for another 10 minutes, so we're just gonna walk.
But maybe it was a good thing we walked because we got to stop at another part of the zoo we hadn't seen yet. The wetlands section had these massive replicas of dinosaurs. Our favorite animal though in the wetlands section was definitely the emus. The emus were humongous and you could stand right next to them.
Hello. Hi, buddy. You're as tall as my daughter.
As we walked to the Crocodile, we did pass by the koalas and we definitely stopped to pet them again. We even came across an even bigger kangaroo exhibit than we saw in the morning. But we were starting to run late for the Crocodile show, so we decided we needed to come back here after.
We are going to the show in the Crocodile.
Every day, the Australia Zoo puts on a wildlife warrior show in the Crocodile. The main event of the show is when they bring out a full-size crocodile and feed it in front of the audience. But before they did that, they made sure to get us all excited about being in a crocodile.
3, 2, 1.
Then, right in the middle of the bird portion of the show, Mom was chosen to catch this gigantic bird on her arm.
Which is okay. Beautiful. Now tell her she should see this. I know exactly who to fly to.
This bird actually took $5 Australian out of Mom's hand, but it wouldn't be long before she got it back.
You want to go? Place your other arm flat really hard, so lie down together. There we go. Up go. This is via airmail. Now once she does place that note in your hand, close a few fingers over it. Yep. And thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to bring us some umbrellas and spades.
After the bird show is when the zookeeper comes out to do the crocodile show. But what we were not expecting was for the zookeeper to be Robert Irwin himself. Out of nowhere, Robert Irwin walked out onto the field. And we could not have been more excited. I hate to say it, but we were totally starstruck.
In the water and at the water's edge as the top predator sits in ambush. Now you'll notice that once he comes out, he doesn't stay on the surface. So even if this was dark murky water, he'd still know exactly where I was.
At this point, we were kind of distracted that there was even a crocodile show going on. Rory kept giggling, and Sage felt the need to do her hair now that she was so close to Robert Irwin.
Yes, Robert. He lines up to that strike. His eyes are open. There you go. Good job, guys. Give 3,000 pounds.
In reality, watching human beings feed these massive crocodiles is fascinating. The fact that Robert Irwin came out to feed them himself was even cooler.
Give it up for Mike, isn't he great? I'm actually pretty confident here that I can sit down in front of Monty, and I know that I can get up and get out of his way quicker than he can come forward. You know, I reckon I can lay down in front of Monty. Do it. Alright, I can lay down in front of Monty, and I'm not going to stay here very long, but notice, he could care less. He doesn't care. As soon as I hit his water, instantly, he turns around. He wants to defend his territory. He's where crocs mean business. In the water and at the water's edge. Now, the northern waterways up in Australia. So it's unfortunately...
Look, he's right behind you. Why are you fangirling so much?
After the show, Robert stayed out on the field so that people could take pictures if they'd like. Needless to say, we were thrilled we got to see Robert Irwin on our trip, and it was a memory that will last a lifetime.
I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind.
Okay, now back to the kangaroos. This time, our kangaroo visit would be a little bit different.
We just bought some roof food to give to the kangaroos.
We bought some kangaroo food so we could actually feed them. This place was like a kangaroo's paradise. The kangaroos seemed so relaxed and seemed to love the interaction with humans. Except for when Dad started getting chased by a kangaroo and Mom could hardly get her camera on fast enough. But aside from that, the kangaroos were very friendly and so fun to interact with.
I don't know what I'ma do now. But I don't need your help. Get out of my way, my way. I'm moving on up. Don't make me stay. I'm done being stuck.
As we were feeding the kangaroos, we noticed that the mama kangaroo was feeding her baby.
Mom needs her energy, right?
After we finished up with the kangaroos, we realized we had a short period of time before the zoo would be closing. We still had yet to walk through the reptile section of the zoo, which is what the Australia Zoo is known for. So we briefly walked through seeing all the crocodiles and large reptiles you could ever imagine. We even tried calling an alligator by its name to see if it would respond. But there was no response. At this point, we only had about 20 minutes left before we had to go catch the bus back to the train station. So we used that 20 minutes in the kids section. One thing that is nice about being in Australia compared to some of the other countries we visited is that everyone speaks English. So it's really easy to make friends with local kids. After one exciting and long day, it was time to head back to Brisbane. Just like on the way there, we had to take 3 different trains to get back to our hotel.
Roma Street.
Sure?
Yes.
And per usual, we had to run to catch one of the trains. As you may know from watching our videos, this happens quite often. The trains leave at a specific time with or without the passengers on board. To avoid having to wait for the next train, you have to run.
We're good.
Just in time again.
Okay.
And again.
Okay, so we get used to train stations before.
Now we have about a fun to walk back to the hotel. Stop staring at me. You're making me blush.
As we arrived back in Brisbane, we were still reeling with excitement over the day we had.
I saw Robert Irwin today. Did you? Whoa!
The following day, it was time to head on to our next destination. So we checked out of our hotel and headed to the Brisbane airport. Where are we heading next, you might ask?
We're headed to Melbourne. See you there.
I feel it growing every day. I feel the love. I feel the love. I hope it never goes away. I feel the love.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this video.
Bye.
Say bye.
Brewster.